Hey everybody, welcome to The Coin, home of Kenyan commentary on economics, entrepreneurship, and social archetypes. Today I'm going to be talking about Keiretsus. This is an obsolete and controversial business system responsible for Japan's past economic miracle, and it's also responsible for its current status as the third largest global economy. I'm trying to investigate whether Kenya can learn anything from Japan's controversial version of a cartel. In 1946 found Japan devastated from two nuclear bombs courtesy of USA, aka the Land of Liberty. Keiretsu was an integral part of the Japanese economic miracle after the Second World War. Keiretsu is an established network of essentially interlinked suppliers meeting the raw material, parts, and component requirements of dominant manufacturers. These relationships regularly include distribution and after-sale services. Usually, this may also include a bank to ensure that there is stable financing for the entire group. It is a long continued business relationship. There are two main forms of Keiretsu. The vertical system is a two-way agreement between a manufacturer and supplier to favor each other in business deals and share in shouldering temporary burdens that may otherwise cause instability for the group. There's usually a parent company in most of these cases. The second system is a horizontal system which revolves around a bank. Rather than a parent company cross-shareholding with other companies, it's most likely the bank owns pieces of the companies. In part due to this system, by 1960, industrial production in Japan had reached 350% of what the country was producing before World War II. In 2020, Tokyo, Japan, is the world's richest city by GDP, and Japan was also the world's largest lender by the end of 2019. While the last decade has seen the dismantling of the Keiretsu system in Japan, mainly due to foreign companies buying large amounts of stock in Japanese manufacturers, I believe it's still worth examining what the system got right in greatly improving the economic standing and manufacturing capacity of post-war Japan. So let's discuss some of the benefits that these de facto manufacturing clusters had. The first benefit I'd like to address is a long-term trade relationship with your suppliers. This leads to supply chain stability. This is a very attractive thing for a business because a long-term relationship with your supplier ensures that you're more likely to get goods on time, you're more likely to get a stable product out to your consumers so they find you more reliable and they're more likely to stick with your product. From a production perspective, a long-term relationship is also very good because it allows you and your supplier to work on process improvement, which can generate a better product, it can generate excellent efficiencies, and it can also generate larger profit margins. So older companies will usually stay with their supplier and adapt to a changing demand in the market, not only because they have trade secrets with this same supplier, but it also means that the product just keeps getting better and better over time, and sometimes can also get cheaper over time because they are now more efficient with the production process. And finally, it also ensures that you're more attractive to financiers. This is because when financiers, banks, for example, when you speak to them about getting finance from them, they'll take a look at your company, they'll take a look at who your suppliers are before they hand you the loan. And when they're looking at your suppliers, they want to see whether you have a relationship to ensure your goods are actually going to arrive and reach you. So having prior past relations with this supplier actually makes you more likely to be granted the loan. One benefit I'd like to address is companies holding a small amount of stock in each other to prevent other companies from acquiring shares. While this may seem very anti-competitive, it ensures that you protect your company from hostile takeovers, and it ensures that the other people involved in your industry are invested in you succeeding. The business continuing with its production. Our next benefit is fixed non-symmetrical trade alliances. So this is a cooperation between two or more companies that have a marked difference in terms of their resource portfolio or their market position. And this can actually extend into other things, for example, networks, patents, contracts, as well as brand recognition that a company may already have in the market. This is a leg up because you're already bringing the big guns. You already have someone who's established in the industry that's allowing you a foot in. And finally, you have sharing business practices. This is where you have the parent company with a corporation of the sub-company establish guidance systems, they establish production technology, and they also usually establish quality control methodology for the incoming company. They may send seasoned executives that have retired from the parent company into the sub-company to also give them further guidance as senior executives or board members to ensure that they're on the right path. The benefit of this is it greatly reduces the trial and error that a company has to go through in order to get a product from concept to actually on the shelves. The guidance allows you to know what you shouldn't and should do, which can save a lot of money for the business. As with anything in life, there are downsides to this system. The first is some people consider this system to be Japanese manufacturing cartels. This is further supported by how hard this structure makes it for foreign companies to break into the Japanese market. But this is not the only protectionist feature that the Japanese economy has. You can't take all the responsibility for it being difficult for foreign companies to break into the market. The second thing is that they are slower to adjust to change. This is true of any major company or any large organization, because it takes a very long time for them to research, approve, implement, and train on any new products or procedures that they may want to take. However, this is true of any large organization or conglomerate around the world. The third disadvantage is the parent company in the Keiretsu may exercise monopolistic power above the smaller companies in the conglomerate or over the entire industry. This monopolistic power may be as diverse as controlling board decisions by controlling the most seats on various companies, or instilling practices from the parent company onto sub-companies past what is profitable or companies, or it may spill over into the larger industry by reducing competition, not allowing other companies into the industry, or driving prices of the good up because they're their main producers and they hold all the companies that are involved in the industry. So with our rudimentary understanding of this Japanese system, my question to you is, do you think Kenya would benefit from adopting Keiretsu systems in different industries? When we look at Japanese society and compare it to our own, we can see that it's organized in similar ways. For example, Japanese business has been running within families. Since as far back as the Meiji era, they had what are called zaibatsus, which were family-owned monopolies in different industries. You'll find that Kenya also has a system where certain industries or businesses appear to be controlled by certain, let's say, groups or families. Indeed, Kenya does have existing cartels, but we may form new ones that may be more reactive to change in the global market, that may be more focused on supplying and manufacturing its own products locally, and may be more reactive to local demands. Second benefit that I think that would be locally particular from Keiretsu is that most young businesses do not have access to capital and financing, but banding together may be able to reduce the cost of production or increase the likelihood that we may raise the funds necessary for your business to be able to scale up and be able to sustain more and earn more. Keiretsu would also allow Kenyans to address quality issues because we'd be working on longer, more sustainable relationships. We'd be able to produce quality products for the local market. And finally, I think that it should be beneficial because it would allow us to have the local market on lock. The reason for this is, if we are both in the same industry and I own firm A and my friend owns firm B, if I own shares in his company, whether the job comes to me or whether the job goes to his company, I'm still going to earn something off it. when it comes to payout. This would allow companies to increase their revenues and become more competitive, even possibly reducing the price that they would be offering something because they're now working with their competitors. So my question to you entrepreneurs is, do you think this is a system that could work in Kenya or not? Comment down below.